What is going on, everyone? What is going on? Welcome to our 35th Town Hall. Oh my goodness, like I can't believe we're about to be almost at 40 weeks consistently doing these town halls, educating you guys on the power of Evmux and just answering your most dire questions when it comes to creating content, live streaming, or recording. Super excited for today. But as always, we always like to go ahead and ask Alad, how's he doing? How's the week been? And let's go ahead and kick that off.
Yeah, great week as always. I've been in New York for about 4 days, weekend plus 2 days of a nice event that I've been part of about cryptocurrency, something.
Nice.
Actually, it was pretty interesting, and I would like to ask the guys here. People talk there a lot about NFT and a lot about content creators creating NFTs out of their content. It's super interesting because, if you think about it, it lets content creators the ability to clip, some stuff of their content and then sell it as NFTs. So I'm curious, you can tell us in the chat what you think about that, if this is something you would like to see one day, maybe.
Yeah.
Really curious about that. Just had thoughts, heard things in this event, and I'm always listening and trying to think, okay, how can we leverage that? So it was interesting for me, really interested to see what you think, but it's not that this is the topic for today, and it's not that it's on the road of right now. Just sharing with you something I've heard this week and looking forward to hear from you. How was your week, Anthony?
My week was good. Super excited about that. Wish I was at an NFT event. NFTs are huge, man. It's still highly new that people are not adopted to it yet. But it goes so much deeper into like how contracts are going to be utilized. So really excited to talk about that. But the week was good. Had so much coffee. So really appreciate it. A lot got us a coffee maker for our wedding, and been hooked on the coffee espresso
it's not
machine.
Me specifically. It's all the
Evmux team. The
Evmux
team. Yeah. The Evmux team, and it's been hooked on it ever since. So a lot of coffee, a lot of content creation. Again, we're focusing heavily on the onboarding. So I'm creating a lot of content to help with easier onboarding. So when you first get into Evmux, you understand where things are, how to navigate it. Just make it a little bit easier for you to be able to go from creating an account to getting started recording and live streaming. And that's kind of what the topic is about today. We've had a huge amount of influx of new members joining us. And again, this is all contribution to all the existing members who are there, who continue to tell other people about how powerful Evmux is and what it's doing for them. So today we're going to dive into just walking through the initial process of like getting started with Evmux, going live, and what that actually looks like. But before then, we always got to give, recommendations and thanks to the people who tune in live here for us. Again, familiar faces and new faces. We got Zan the Man, we got Fat Ninja, we got Domino, we got Trump Master, we got Harris, we got Darius is in the house, we got Christian in the house as well. It's always an amazing opportunity to be able to spend this moment together in real time. That's the beauty of live streaming, for us to be able to go ahead and educate you and help you. So with that, Alad, let's just go ahead and really quickly talk about, we got Emmanuel that just tuned in. The man mindset is here. I love it. Let's go. Let's keep it going. And if you guys are enjoying Evmux and enjoying these town halls, make sure you hit the like button. It definitely allows us to be able to go ahead and push that out to more people, so more people can begin to get educated on Evmux. So a lot of questions for you.
Subscribe. Come on,
subscribe and like, right? You got Dima in the house as well. I just love it. I'd love to see Victor coming in here as well from Nigeria. Let's go. I'm really excited for all the faces that are tuning in and jumping in. And I think that this is a great day to talk about just getting the most out of Evmux. So again, a lot from coming from the event space, right? And understanding the complexity of doing virtual and hybrid events. Why don't we talk about first why it was super important to be able to create Evmux, to be easy to be able to get started with, to be able to go live and create content. Why was that the focus of what Evmux was created on?
It's a great question because to begin with, we didn't understand how important it is that the onboarding will be the easiest possible. Again, coming from the event industry, we always thought very professionally on live streaming. It wasn't about the onboarding. It was kind of obvious for us that, okay, you sign up and then you explore and you look for tutorials, and it's okay that it's complicated a little bit as long as it's robust enough. And pretty quickly, we understood that we were wrong. And that's, again, coming into our attitude and our approach of listening all the time.
Right.
We listened to people and we understood pretty quickly, like really quickly, that it's not the way, it's not going to work that way. It has to be, first of all, very easy to onboard. Okay, so the sign up will be like one click of a button, create a session. The first broadcast will be another click, and then the next click will be you go live. Okay, and that's where, because if we're going back to the basics, we started with prosynths, and then we added the dynamic synths. Okay, which is a bit funny because most of the product, they start with the very easy piece, which is easier to develop, and then they are evolving from there. We're coming from the event industry. The prosynths was a must-have, so we started there. And then we understood that if we want to have content creators, and we want them on board, we need to add these dynamic scenes, so it will be very easy to make it happen.
Right.
And only when we added the dynamic scenes, this is when we really launched, because we understood that we are not going on the right track without having dynamic scenes, even before we officially launched, just with talking with beta testers and so forth. And immediately we said, okay, let's develop that simple layer, let's call it, and then add it to the product. So I cannot express enough how important it is for us that Evmux will be easy to use, and also the onboarding process will be appealing to people. Because, even if we understand now, even more than before, even now that it's honestly super easy, like you sign up and you can go live, even now there are people struggling. Even with the add to stream button, they are struggling sometimes. So it's not that the journey was finished, and it's easy to use. Evmux can and will be even easier to use when you onboard, and it comes to the content that Anthony is creating now. And also onboarding process and so many different ideas, and also open to your ideas, of course. But the journey is not ended. Like, we are working very hard for the onboarding process, and the first impression that people has on Evmux will be just smooth, flawless, the easiest it can be.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing that's been driving everything that we've been doing. Is just like, we wanted to make sure that we broke that barrier where, like, people were not creating content, people weren't going live, having interviews, having podcasts, because of the complication of the tools that were out there to be able to achieve that, right? Where somebody who's never created content before of live streaming can come into Evmux, be able to spend a little bit of time in that platform. And everybody has a different learning curve, right? Everybody has different experiences. So based on where your prior experience were at, it's going to determine how fast you get started inside of Evmux. But for the most part, if you've never used a tool like this, after a few hours of utilizing it and just following tutorials and going through the process, you're able to go ahead and learn that, and it's one of the biggest things that we see here. So for anybody who's new here for the first time, just give you an idea of how the town halls work. We like to go ahead and talk about the original topic of what it is that we're talking about, which is getting started with Evmux. And then we like to do a demo to show you what that actually looks like. And then from there, we dive into our favorite part, which is doing Q&A. But throughout the whole town hall, answer your questions, and then we'll come back and address them in the order that they were actually received. Because again, you guys are the driving factor to what we do here inside of Evmux, and what we create and how we create it, and when we release certain features based on your guys' needs. So again, I see a lot of good questions coming into the actual chat, so that we can get to them a lot faster. Why don't we dive into the demo to showcase what it looks like when you first get into Evmux and you create an account? How do you go from account creation to starting a session to getting ready to go live?
Yeah, let's run the video, keep the questions going, and we promise we will get them all.
Yes. Now that your Evmux account has been created, the very first thing you're going to want to do is to go ahead and set up a broadcast session. So right here on your dashboard, you're going to be prompted with a message just like this. It's going to say new project, single broadcast, or multi-session event. So let's go ahead and start with the name of the new project. The new project is going to be, whether it's going to be your business name, your name, or any name that you want to use. This is more or less for your internal purposes to be able to access your broadcast sessions that fall with under this name. I'm just going to go ahead and use Anthony Santana 1. And then here you're going to have the option to select single broadcast or multi-session event. A single broadcast is going to be the recommended route. This is the fastest way to get into the studio and to begin live streaming. A multi-session event is going to be more for if you're using an event, doing a webinar, or having multiple broadcast sessions running at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and select single broadcast, and we're going to select go to studio. This is going to go ahead and bring you inside of Evmux live stream editor. This is where you're going to go ahead and manage and run your live streams. So the easiest way to go ahead and get started is to come here down to where it says this little gear icon and select cam and mic. This is where you're going to want to go ahead and select your camera. This is where you're going to want to select your microphone, and then decide if you want to put echo cancellation or noise suppression on. Once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is to come up to the top right hand side and select broadcast channels. This is where you're going to go ahead and select the destination where you're going to want to go ahead and begin live streaming. So you can select the Facebook page, group, or profile, your LinkedIn, your YouTube, or Twitch, or a custom RTNP destination. So once you've selected a destination, you simply can go ahead and select here, add to dynamic. Your camera is now going to be ready inside of the studio. And then you can simply go ahead and select go live, and that's going to go ahead and push you over to that destination. And just like that, you can see how easy it was to begin the process of live streaming with inside of Evmux. All right. So you can see there just how easy it is to be able to go ahead and begin the process of utilizing us, creating a session, getting into dynamic, adding your camera, adding your destination, and then simply going live. And that's the most simplest path to going live. And of course, there's ways for you to be able to then expand on that and add a little bit more customization, because the one thing that we here at Evmux stand for is that not only are we the live streaming sweet spot, but we also allow you to be able to fully customize your live streams and recordings by giving you full flexibility on the design and the creative aspects of things utilizing our pro scenes. So during that video, we had some questions coming in here, and we'll go here from the top. Trump Master said here, do you have the function to add a blurry background to Evmux yet?
All right, and the answer is not yet. Working on it, but there is a workaround for that. You need to have some sort of virtual camera software on your computer. Snap.com, for example, it's free and it works perfect. So then you use this software to create the background, and then in Evmux, you click on the gear icon, the settings, and there you can basically switch camera. You will see there the virtual snap camera. You will be able to change to it, and then it will be with the virtual background, blurry, whatever you want to do.
Right.
So there is a pretty easy solution. That's why it wasn't very important for us, let's say, in the top priority of our roadmap, but we hear that more and more from people. So definitely it's there, it's coming, no ETA, but it's there. Thank you for asking, and it helps us again to prioritize all the time.
Perfect. So we have here Christian. It says, in my honest opinion, when inviting collaborators, I feel that it shouldn't be forced to create a first session if they've been invited to a session. They should be taken to the session or the dashboard.
I couldn't agree more. The reason that this is how it works, because let's say the regular or general path of someone joining Evmux for the first time is, okay, first of all, we try to prompt people to encourage people to open the first broadcast, because otherwise you don't have much to do in Evmux. I agree that when this person was invited as a collaborator, they should not see that, and they should go first to accept the invitation for the project you invited them for. 100% right. Took the note here. Dev team, you write it down. We definitely need to differentiate between people that joined for the first time on their own and people that were
Been
invited
invited.
as collaborators. Thank you for the feedback. Great feedback.
Perfect. Yeah, that was a great question. Next question here we got from Harris says, took a second and a YouTube video to differentiate between projects and sessions. So this is a great video that we will be making on our channel. But right now, a great friend of ours, Kurt Nugent, on his YouTube channel, he actually made a specific video directly talking about that specific feature, talking the difference between projects and sessions so that you know how they're actually utilized. We can explain a little bit now what they are a lot if you want to break it down.
Definitely. And I think this question is coming again and again, and it's always about this balance between robustness and simplicity. Remember, and this thing, I think that we structured it pretty well in the system, but I agree that it requires explanation. Like there are some stuff sometimes that, you know, unfortunately, it has to be explained to you so you'll understand. Specifically if we are not using this feature. Like we have a lot of clients that they're just running on one project all the time, and that's it. Like they don't even create multiple projects, so they don't really understand, okay, why do I need to create another project? And we understand that. But with that said, remember that Evmux aimed to be suitable for many different content creators, right? And there are a lot of content creators that they are doing different projects. I mean, totally different, or they're producing different shows for people. So they really need the ability to differentiate between projects. So I think it's important and it's good that it's there. It's a huge advantage we have. I agree that it requires a YouTube video, as you said, to understand 100%. what it takes, but it's 1-2 minutes to understand that. So I think it's reasonable, and I can really quickly explain now what we're talking about. In Evmux, when you join for the first time, we prompt you to create your first broadcast. Okay, this broadcast is basically a session, okay, within a project. Okay, then it becomes a bit more complicated because this session can be reused again and again and again. If you have just a weekly show, you don't even need to create another session in the project. You can use the same session again and again. For example, our Townhall. We go live every week. It looks almost the same every week. Anthony and I, one next to the other. We have the opening slide. We have the countdown. We have the video. We have auto switch. We have, you know, and we're just changing here and there the topic and things like that. Maybe we'll have a guest here and there, so we need to add a scene of a guest, but it's not that we need to create a different session. Also, what's nice of reusing the session again and again, so you have it templated, you have the template created that you can do just tweaks here and there, and also you have your broadcasting channels ready for you, because if I connect YouTube once to this session, it's connected. Okay, I need to maybe change the post if I want to, but my YouTube is already there. I don't even need to reconnect my YouTube, although it's one click of a button. Even that I don't have to do. I can create another session if it's totally different layout, or if I have things happening, let's say concurrently or very close to each other. Think about a small event that you are doing, that you have a keynote speaking session, and then you have another session happening, a breakout session or whatever. You don't necessarily want them to be in the same stream. Maybe you want them to do in different streams and things like that. So then you can create different sessions. And then if you would like to have totally different shows for different clients or for different needs, you can even have different projects. Okay. What's nice about Evmux that the media files you are uploading to session number 1, they will be available for you also for session number 2 and 3 within the same project. But between projects, we have totally differentiation. So the media file is not going there. And think about it, it's important, because if I'm working now on Amazon as a client, hopefully, okay, I have Amazon as a client and I have Facebook as another client. Amazon, they don't want their media files and data goes to the project of Facebook. It has to be different, right? So that's why we have this separation between projects, but within the same project, all the media files will be available for you across different sessions.
Right.
I hope it clarifies this. But yeah, I understand that 90% of our clients, they don't even need different projects, but it's there because one day maybe you'll need it, and we have the client that they need it. So, I don't see why not. Just, I agree that you need to understand what it means. I hope it helped.
Yeah, 100%. And then on top of that, the biggest way that I break down, the projects in this session is that, treat your project like your home, right? Your project is your home. That's where you're going to live. And then the sessions are the rooms inside of your home. So when you go to sleep, right, you pretty much go to sleep in the same room. So it's the same way. If you're going to do a live stream, you're going to do the same show week after week, you use the same session, right? And then when you want to go into another room of the house, because you're going to talk about something different, maybe you have a gym in your home, you have a garage, you have a kitchen, different use cases for those rooms. Those are the different sessions that you have. But the project in itself is going to be the same house because all your furniture and all your stuff is there, your media files, right? Your pictures, your videos, and everything that you want to be able to utilize. Because if I have my gym in one room, I can just drag it into another room, right? Because it's already inside the home, which is your project. But I'll definitely make a video on that, just to be able to kind of, again, improve the onboarding. I think it's super important that when you get in there and a pop-up video comes up telling you guys, hey, we're setting up a project. This is what a project is utilized for. And now let's create a session. This is what a session is utilizing for. And I think that will alleviate a lot of the issues that you have there. But yeah, 100%. Next question that we have here. It says here, is there anything from Trump Master? It says, is there anything that needs to be done on YouTube when scheduling the live? So when it comes to scheduling inside of Evmux, pretty much Evmux is going to do a lot of the work for you. There are some additional things you can do inside of YouTube that are optional. So if, for example, inside of Evmux, when you select YouTube, you're able to put in the title, you're able to put in the description, you're able to go ahead and put in a thumbnail, and you're also able to schedule it to the side on the date and the time that it actually goes live, right? So once you do that and you schedule it, it's going to push that over to YouTube. And you can also inside of Evmux select if you want it public, unlisted, or private. If you want people to be able to see it, just like we do here in the town hall, so that way people can get notifications about it, you put it public. And then on the YouTube side, you pretty much don't need to do anything if you don't want to. Right now, if you do want to do things, these are the optional things that you can do, right? You can go onto your YouTube channel and you can go in there and, add it to a playlist, right, that you want it to be on YouTube. You can add tags if you want to add tags to it. You can add, any other things that you want to add, as far as like add things to the description or make adjustments to it. But it's not really necessary for you to be able to go to YouTube once you've done everything inside of Evmux. So here for the town hall, all I do is that I'll schedule it inside of Evmux. It pushes it over to YouTube. And then what I do is that I come on the YouTube side, I just adjust a few of the tags, add it to a playlist, and add a little poll and a question to the video. And then that's pretty much it. But again, it's not a requirement for you to be able to do that.
And I think you touched exactly on the how important it is to make things easy. And this is something that, to begin with, I'm talking even before we launched, we not necessarily understood, and we understood it along the way, how important it is for people through Evmux to be able to do one click of a button, boom, connecting to YouTube, scheduling it, and that's it. I'm not touching YouTube whatsoever. Most of the people, Anthony is pretty much a professional, so he knows YouTube very well and he knows what to do in YouTube. Most of the people, they don't even know how to create polls on YouTube, and they don't really want to. Okay, they want it to be as easy as possible, because think about it, content creators, anyways, it's hard for people to start to create content. It's not very intuitive for a lot of people to be in front of camera, go live, right? So any barrier you add to the process makes some people to say, okay, to let it go, to say, okay, no, it's too hard for me. Right? So our job in Evmux is to make it very, very easy, frictionless for people to go live. So kind of no excuses, man, it's easy. Now you just decide if you want to do it or not, but don't come to me with excuses that, no, it's too hard technically. No, it's not hard at all. 1, 2, 3 clicks of a button, you are live, boom. Just do it. Okay, that's our job. We cannot convince you to go live. It's on you. But our job is to make it very, very easy for you. And the YouTube integration is something very important for the ease of use of the platform.
Right. Yeah. 100%. That was a great response there. We got a question here from Zan the Man. Says, can we broadcast live on multiple destinations simultaneously? 100%. You can actually stream up to, on our pro plan, up to 9 destinations at the same time. Of course, you have access to, Facebook page, Facebook profile, Facebook group, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn. And then you also have the custom RTMP destination that allows you to connect to multiple destinations. So this is something that's huge here. We understood the importance of being able to get your content out there to multiple platforms at the same time, to be able to reach your audience where they feel the most comfortable spending time on, right? Some people love YouTube, some people love Facebook, some people love being on LinkedIn and things of that sort. So it gives you that flexibility to be able to push your content out there. And the best part, I'll let Alad dive deeper into this, is that it doesn't require any more strain on your computer to be able to achieve that. And there's no loss of quality. So why don't we talk about that a little bit real quick about why it's important for us to have the stability in there?
Definitely. So I'll just mention that there is a great video that Anthony created in our channel. You can look in YouTube, Evmux Multistream. And you'll find this video for sure. Great video showing you exactly how to do that. And yes, according to our plans, of course, there are some limitations. The Pro plan allows you up to 9 destinations at the same time, which is ridiculous. Right. And when we're saying destinations, Anthony mentioned that as well. People want, in Facebook specifically, if you stream to your profile, a company page and a group, we're talking about 3 different destinations. It's not that it's one destination on Facebook. It's 3 destinations. Right. So you can have up to 9, which is way more than enough for the majority of the people. And yeah, it's important to understand the power of multi-stream, why it's so important, because you can spread to wider audience, and why not? Okay. And then it's important to understand from the technical standpoint, it's not taking anything more, no resources, no more internet from your end. All the heavy lifting happening on the servers. Basically, we're getting from you one feed, let's call it, and then we spread it to the different destinations that you set up. And what's very nice about Evmux, that we know how to stream in 1080p full HD, even in our free plan, which is crazy. And even if you are streaming to 9 destinations, all of them will get the 1080p. Right. And because we are using, AWS, then it's super, super stable, way more stable than your internet connection. Even if your internet is not ideal, the quality of the stream itself will be 1080p whatsoever. Right. It might be that your camera will look a bit blurry here and there because of your internet, but the stream itself, which is the background, the lower thirds, the logos, videos, if you have them into the system, everything will be 1080p, even if you're streaming to 9 different destinations. And that's huge. That's huge.
Right. 100%. And I think that was super important to acknowledge as well that there's no limit on when you can use 1080p. There's not a requirement for you to be on a paid plan for you to be able to be on 1080p as well, because we understand the importance of quality, right? Everybody wants to be able to have their content be put out at the highest quality. It's almost like now it's just a given, right? Where you should have the best quality possible to be able to display that. So that's super important.
I mean, you're investing in cameras of full HD, and then the system not letting you to stream in full HD. I'm like, okay, so what's the point,
Right. Complicates it 100%. So we got a question here from Christian. It says, it seems that I can have 2 collaborators per session, but it also shows 2 unused collaborators in my account dashboard. I'm assuming these are different. If so, shouldn't they be named producers? As a remote producer, multiple projects were a huge selling point. Okay, separate question.
Yeah. I agree that sometimes the wording is a bit confusing, and we're definitely open for feedback there if you think that things should be changed. The reason we are using collaborators, because it's not the way we see that. Now I agree that we are not really, we don't let you to choose the permissions you are giving per collaborator. But in our vision, the collaborator that you are inviting to help you in a project, this collaborator, you will be able to decide if they have permission only for speakers, only for sessions, only for a specific session, only for the speaker room backstage, or also to be really a producer.
Right.
And that's why we use the word collaborator and not the word producer, because producer is one way of being a collaborator. Like, it can be a producer collaborator, it can be just a moderator, okay, whatever. So for now we use the word collaborator, but yes, in the system now, when you are inviting a collaborator, it will be someone that can help you produce the show as well. You cannot really limit their permissions. So I agree, I understand the confusion. But yeah, when you invite a collaborator, they can go into the studio and basically be your co-host. If specifically you invited someone and you still see that you are 0 out of 2, that's definitely something we would like to check. But yeah, the number of collaborators you have is basically now equal to the number of producers you can have as co-hosts.
Perfect. So we got next question here. Says Christian says to look into to that session duplication or saving destinations. Again, that is something that's been requested to be able to duplicate those sessions for ease of use. So that is on the roadmap 100%.
Yep. It's a bit. I want to explain why it's not that easy to duplicate those sessions, because like why we're working on it to make sure that it's working fine, because we have the process basically, and each scene you create might have unlimited layers, right? So when the duplication happens, it's a thing. It's not just, okay, let's duplicate and it's just very easy data. There is a work to do there. And also, the roadmap is exploding with other stuff. So it's definitely their high priority. And it's coming. But yeah, there are solutions now, because you can reuse the same session, just edit the same session. But definitely coming, the ability to duplicate a session and then everything is there, the scenes you created, the media files and everything exactly as it was in the other session.
Perfect. So Trumpet Master says here, how do I cancel a live inside of Evmux? So it's really simple, depending on if you're already live. Of course, you can hit the end broadcast, or you can hit Control G on your keyboard. That's going to be a hotkey that allow you to be able to end the stream and the session. But if you schedule a live stream and you want to go ahead and cancel it, remember the live stream gets pushed once you hit go live or Control G on your keyboard or a button on your stream deck. But to cancel it, once you have it scheduled, once you come inside of Evmux and you go to your broadcast channels, you can go ahead and disable. Once you disable that and save, that will go ahead and cancel out the live stream session that you have scheduled to go out live. But that's how you cancel a scheduled and how you cancel a live stream there. Anything to add there, Alon?
No, you answered it better than I do.
Okay. All right, we got a question.
It happens here and there,
Yeah, I know, right? Sometimes it's just right on the money. All right. So we got a question here from Zan the Man. Says we can't stream to Instagram, correct? So as far
it's
as
not us.
Yeah,
it's Mark Zuckerberg. Talk to him.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So if you want to break it down as to what the what's limiting that from happening there, you can talk about that if you like.
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, Instagram for now, they don't really allow any streaming from any third-party software, so they don't even expose the RTMP. Okay, I'm not even talking about the real integration. We've heard that they are working on something. We'll see. We are definitely following. So yeah, Instagram in their privacy policy and terms of use and stuff, they're actually not allowing you to use any other tools. I know that there are tools out there, I don't even remember the names, allowing you to do some sort of hack to stream to Instagram. But Instagram can block your account because of that. So I definitely don't recommend to do that. I'm not saying that they will block it. I don't know, but it's against their privacy policy in terms of use. So of course, we as a platform, we won't let you do anything that might cause any harm to your accounts. So unfortunately, we cannot allow you to stream directly to Instagram through Evmux.
Perfect.
Definitely something we would like to have in the second that Instagram will allow that. We would like to add them because a lot of people want to use that, definitely.
Yeah. Perfect. And it looks like here's a question here that I missed up here at the top. Says from the Boulder Zone. It says, "How can I pause a picture-in-picture video during my podcast?"
Great question. So if the video is running from the system, it means you added it to the media files and then added it either to a pro scene or in a dynamic scene you played it. You cannot really pause it during the video. But, and this is something we are going to add for the pro scenes. In pro scenes, you will be able to play around with the video. It's coming, okay? But there is a solution for that. We have the share local video thing. And you know what? Let me share my screen real quick. Let me find my scene with my... Yeah, and let's take the question off. Perfect. So you can see my screen. Here, as a producer, you have the share video. Also, the same icon you can find as a guest. So once you click on it, you basically share a video from your computer, and then you will be able to control and pause it from time to time. The good thing about this feature that, yes, it gives you all the flexibility you want. The downside is that it's running based on your internet connection. And then obviously it might be that the video won't run very smoothly if I compare it to the way it runs from your media files, because from the media files, from the scenes, etc., that you build, the video runs from the server, which the internet obviously is way better, way more stable than your own internet. So if your own internet is very stable and you can count on it, play the video that way, it should work. And then you have the flexibility to stop and start and all this good stuff.
Great. All right. So we got our next question here. Let me see where I just make sure I didn't lose track. Fat Ninja says, I use the destinations to stream to my friend's YouTube channel to give him free content from me, but also let his viewers see my lives and they possibly gain subs from his subscribers. 100%. It's a great way for you to be able to, again, when you're doing your guest podcasts, or you're doing interviews or anything that has multiple creators in the event, you're able to add their YouTube channels as well, either using the RTMP destination, which is just them giving you the stream key, or if there's a comfort level, they can go ahead and just connect their YouTube channel directly inside of Evmux. You can add them as a collaborator for the time being. They can go in there, click the YouTube icon, log into their YouTube channel, and then connect it. That way their comments also come in, because I think it's a good opportunity to share now, whereas like comments that broadcast channels that are built into Evmux, like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, are the main ones that, and YouTube are the main ones that are going to pull in comments. Whenever you use an RTMP destination, comments are not going to be pulled in from there. So that's also something to keep in mind based on the experience you want your guest or your whoever you're interviewing to have with their audience as well. Anything to add there?
There is also a video again that Anthony created, I think 2 or 3 months ago, specifically on that. So I don't remember exactly the title, but it's something about sharing
sharing how to go live on your guest's channel.
Something like that. Definitely look for it. Great video explaining that. And Fat Ninja, thank you for mentioning that. Great way to spread the word of your show is letting your guests share the live stream on their channels. So definitely take advantage of that.
So, okay, perfect. Then we have Emmanuel says, one issue I have with Evmux is that when you hit the go live button, you get a black screen on your output. Then you can switch to your point of view. Is that fixed yet? So you can address that. It's still in the works.
It's not that it's fixed or not fixed, because it's not a bug. This is the expected. This is the expected behavior. With that said, we understand, we get this request more and more, and it's coming that you will be able, before you go live, to select the first scene that will be played and then hit the go live button. Working on that, definitely. And thank you again for mentioning that. Just wanted to make sure that you all understand it's not a bug. This is exactly how it's expected to work. But I agree that it should be improved, and we're working on it.
Correct. All right, perfect. And then we have here a question from Friedman. It says, does Evmux work on Safari yet?
All right. So as a guest, you can join using Safari if you're using iOS devices, iPads, iPhones. As a producer, no. The reason is that honestly, it requires so much work to make it work flawlessly on Safari as well. And there is no real reason for Mac users not to use Chrome. So when we're doing, the pros and cons, we decided for now to focus on Chrome. It doesn't mean we won't support fully on Safari in the future, but it's not something that currently we're working very hard on because we have, again, higher priorities. So, it's always about what people ask. So Shlomo, please let us know why you think that Safari is super important and you cannot use Chrome. We would be, of course, very happy to hear that, and it might affect the prioritization.
Perfect.
But for now, this is what we decided.
Perfect. Then we got a question here from In the Basement with Next Steps in KC. Says, will there be an Evmux on-screen animation video while streaming using WebM files because my animations won't show or be heard during my stream? It shows on my end, but not live.
Okay,
so
that's weird. Because basically a WebM video that you add to Evmux as a layer, basically in a media file, and then you add it as a layer to the process, definitely should work. So I recommend you to communicate with us, because it might be a user error. It might be also a problem in Evmux. I'm not saying never say never. It definitely might be. So we would love to learn and understand what you're doing. And then it can help us in two ways. First of all, we can find something in the system that it's not working as expected. Secondly, if you did a user error, it will help us to understand why you made it happen. And then probably something is not intuitive enough in the system. So then we will improve the processes and we will improve the explanations. Maybe we will change patterns. Who knows? So definitely any feedback like that is very, very helpful for us. So please connect with us even in the Facebook group or info@evmux.com. And, we can hop on a call, whatever it takes to make sure that we understand the issue. We solve it for you and we'll learn from it for others.
Perfect. Then we got a question here from the Nick's Cave. Jan Mitchell says, can you use two cameras at once while doing a live or recording? So the answer is yes. But we'll dive a little bit deeper into let you share on what's currently being developed and ways that you can implement that now.
Definitely. So now we're talking about multi-cameras, and it's being asked again and again and again, and I'm happy to answer again and again and again. For now, the workaround for that is to add the second camera as another guest. So you have the invite guest, or you can basically create a speaker in the dashboard, and then instead of having someone else connected using this link, it will be you just configuring the other camera. Because for each guest, you can basically select the camera. So you don't select camera number 1, you will select your camera number 2. That's like the easiest way to make it happen right now. With that said, we understand that it's kind of a workaround and it's not the smoothest way to make it happen. And we are working very hard now on our multi-camera feature. And the reason that we take our time to make it right, because we don't just want to allow you to add camera and that's it. There are a lot of things to think about. Think about it. For example, the audio between the different cameras. How do you select the different audios? Is it a different audio or is it the same audio source for both of them? Another thing is we have the pro scenes, right? So you would like ahead of time to create a scene with camera number 2. We have to make sure that in the next time you are joining the system will understand what is camera number 2, right? So just giving you two things that we're thinking about, but of course there are more there. Working very hard to make sure that the UI, UX is very intuitive. People will understand what's going on, because this is a very robust feature on one end, but we do want it to be easy to use on the other end, right? So it's a challenge working on it, and that's why it takes some time. But it will worth it, I promise you.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be well worth it. For those of you that have been with us since the start, since we first started developing the feature, it's going to be well worth your while and the wait. And once it's available, you guys are going to be really amazed. So really excited about that. So we got a question here from Jen. It says, can you explain the affiliate program and compensation plan? Which is good. If you haven't know, we have a very generous affiliate program. The link is actually in the description of the YouTube video. Did you want to break down the affiliate program, Alon?
Yeah, of course. So the affiliate program is something we are very, very proud of, and it's working amazing. And I think we have as you said, the URL in the description.
Right.
We encourage all of you to join. It doesn't cost you any money. It's just another way for you to help us grow and help yourself grow with us, because we are really appreciating everyone letting Evmux spread and letting his friends and family and colleagues and whomever and viewers to know more about Evmux and hopefully use it. So we are giving you 30% of the first year of each and every client that will come from your URL. It's a super easy setup. You sign up, we approve you, and then you have a unique URL that you can share anywhere. And we saw people like Kirk Nugent as another example, creating great videos, tutorials on Evmux, and of course using the unique URL from our affiliate program. And he's doing pretty well. It's nice. It's amazing to see that, and it's a win-win. And why not? So definitely encourage all of you that you would like to recommend the Evmux to others. Why not making something out of it? At least maybe it will cover your Evmux account. Why not? It's money on the ground, as we said. So try.
Yeah. And it's super important as well to keep in mind that it's also reoccurring for the first year. So if they are on the monthly, you'll get 30% of that monthly payment every single month. If they pay yearly, you're going to get 30% of that yearly amount. So that's also super important, because as an affiliate and somebody promoting products, you want to be able to make sure you're compensated every single month that user is utilizing that tool. So that way, every month you build on that, right? You brought 10 people in Evmux the month before, next month 10, it just grows and does go through there. So it's a very generous affiliate program. We have some amazing affiliates in there now, and eventually here soon, once we are able to kind of move forward, we'll start launching a affiliate program where we do more education on helping our affiliates understand how to make money with promoting Evmux. So that's going to come here soon.
Definitely.
Okay, so we have the ability to take here some few more questions. So we got a question here. Let me see what from Trump. All right, so Trump Master says, can you stream on TikTok? So that is going to be a good question. So there, did you want to address it, or do you want me to?
It's kind of very similar to Instagram, but TikTok taking it, I think, faster, and I think it's coming sooner that they will allow third-party softwares to have some sort of integration to TikTok. I'm saying what I think. It's not that they told me anything. It's just the way I see them treating live streaming. So this is my assumption. But for now, unfortunately, again, it's not that we can do any integration to them. I wish. So if you know something I don't, let me know. For now, it's not doable.
Perfect. And then we got a question here from Christian. It says, are you seeing Facebook comments in your interface? On our end, I started watching via YouTube because my comments or questions were getting missed on Facebook.
Yeah, so we do see Facebook, but we don't see that with names. If you on your end not really approving that, that's a Facebook privacy policy thing that Facebook by default, they don't let the names go to any platforms using their API. The people watching, they need to be proactive and approving Evmux on their end. And as we all know, people are lazy and they're not really willing to do that. So yeah, that's the thing with Facebook. So I see the comments. I don't see who wrote them. I can also highlight them like I highlight YouTube, but it will come. I think I have some example here. Yeah. Yeah, this. All right. Maybe it's you that wrote that, but this is how you see that. So
but the name integration yet.
Yeah, no name, as you can see, but you see that it comes from Facebook.
Right. So we're just waiting on that integration there. So here we got Xanderman says, so I have an idea. Would we be violating IG rules if we go live on Evmux and go live on Instagram at the same time? So no. would be the instant response, because they have no restriction on you simultaneously casting at the same time while you're going live on Instagram. So you would be going live on Instagram on your mobile phone. That's totally fine because you're utilizing their platform. And then you can be going live on Evmux to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the other platforms at the same time for you to be able to kind of coexist with your audience. So there's no kind of limitations there because you're not physically using Evmux to live stream to Instagram. So
exactly,
that,
and there are a lot of people doing that. You just have to
Right.
make sure that your internet can handle that. But if yes, do some tests. If it works fine, definitely go for it.
Perfect. So then we got here, the Boulder says, no worries, Anthony. Thanks for the workaround a lot. I look forward to the improvements 100%. We're trying to improve every single day, 1% better. And again, you guys drive the improvements. We've been on the market now for 9 months. And it's been an amazing journey to see us be able to grow and develop these additional features because of you guys. So thank you again for that. Lee says, no question. Just wanted to say, love the software and being able to stream in 1080p for free was the main pull for me. Keep it up. Love you, man. Thanks for being here. Again, it's super important to be able to have the highest quality possible. And remember, if your camera supports up to 4K, the local recording is going to allow you to have that 4K footage directly inside the software. So again, quality was super important for us there. Notary Zone, welcome. It says, if you're only a podcaster and don't want to use visuals, can you still use Evmux? Man, 100%. I know you want this question. No, I know you want this question right here. This is a great one. Go ahead, answer it.
Yeah, so we've been in podcast movement specifically because of that, because we are trying, and I understand that there is a confusion sometimes for podcasters because they see Evmux a live streaming tool, yada, yada. And it doesn't mean that it's not good enough. It even means it's even better than other just recording tools, because all the basics that you can do in other tools like recording and things like that, of course you can do in Evmux. You don't have to make Evmux look like the stream look like it looks now with lower thirds and
go put us in dynamic. Put us in dynamic really quick. Give us a basic layout. Put us in dynamic.
All right, just a second.
Really quick.
You challenged me.
Yeah, put us in there.
Let's do this.
So you can just see that you can simplify it. You know what I mean? If you wanted to.
That's it. Anthony and I, one next to the other in dynamic scene. And that's it. And you can record, and let me even take the comment off. And we can record without going live. And we can, in the prop plan, you can even get separated tracks. So you'll get my track, Anthony's track in the full highest quality up to 4K, uncompressed audio for any post-production needs, any clipping, anything. Definitely Evmux is a go-to tool for podcasters to record only in the easiest way. If you would like to add some sort nice looking layer to yourself, so I can have a background that I had ahead of time, and now it looks nicer. I can have lower thirds. I can have very simple things that can do the difference between just a recording to a recording that looks much better with 1 or 2 clicks of a button. So definitely recommending you to try. But if you do want to make it as simple as you want, go for the simple way. Definitely possible.
And the biggest thing, like you said, was that with the local recording, you don't even have to go live. That's number one. You can just record it. And then on top of that, you're going to get, like, if me and Alad were right now recording a podcast, and Alad was the host, then Alad would get the full show with me and him. He would get my camera feed and my audio feed separate. He would get his own camera feed and audio separate, allowing you to be able to then do post-production, to make TikTok, to make reels, to do post-production, where you have the flexibility to have that customization. So super powerful tool for podcasters. We just were at Podcast Movement a few weeks ago, and it was just amazing to see the people's expression, to see the powerful things they can do with inside of Evmux. So really, really excited about that. Okay, so perfect. So we'll take here 1 or 2 more questions, and then if we don't get to your question, we jump right into the Facebook group. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, join us in that group. It's growing every single day. And last week I said as a joke that every other day Alad's making a welcome post inviting new people, but it truly is growing fast. So we're loving to see the community and more people coming in to join us. So if we don't get your question today, join in the group and we'll be able to address it there. So make sure that we see where I was at. Next question.
We have someone
here,
from Paris, so just say
from
hi.
Paris.
Hi, Eric.
Okay, yeah, Eric from Paris. What is going on? What time is it over there? Then we got Eric got a question here. It says, in the roadmap of Evmux, is it planned to introduce scripts like JavaScript or LoRa like in OBS?
I guess you're talking about web sources. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So it'd be a little bit different. The web sources is different than the scripts. So the scripts would be, since Evmux is not an open source software, so having scripts that will be able to customize the things that happen inside of Evmux and the things that are in there. I'm not sure a lot if that's in the roadmap.
I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. We are talking about, it's future, kind of a marketplace to allow people to develop some sort of additions to Evmux tools and be able to share it with the people using Evmux. But to be honest, it's not going to happen in the next year or so. There are too many things in the higher priority. But yeah, I hope it answers your question, Eric.
Yeah. All right, perfect. So we got a question here from the Mix Club. I'm just going to make sure I'm just trying to address the questions first. And it says here, Victor actually said, could I modify the banner look? Maybe change fonts, change text, colors, etc. That would be really cool.
Coming back to the balance between simplicity and robustness. So banners, for now, we decided that you can change themes, colors, and that's pretty much it, to keep it very, very simple. But in the process, you can do whatever you want. It won't be under banners, but it will be you creating the banner that you would like to have. Right. So you can create it as a picture. You can create it as an animation video. You can also use dynamic captions within Evmux to create those kind of banners you're talking about, and then have different scenes with the different banners and play around with it that way. And then you have full flexibility what to do. We decided on the banners feature specifically to keep it very, very clean and simple now. I'm not saying it will stay like that. Maybe we will change it, but always thinking about people, not to intimidate them that much, because in the process you can do whatever you want. And then it allows you to take it to the next level, and trying to limit the modification that you can do to features built in the system, right? Not to intimidate people. This is what we decided for now. I'm not saying it will stay like that forever, but that's the reason behind it, that you cannot adjust the banners that much.
Perfect. And then we have Tiano Time and James Hicks that are here. Welcome. We met both of them at Podcast Movement. Super amazing to be able to meet in person. Really love that. And then we'll take here these two final questions here. The Mix Club says, can you capture audio from another screen? For some reason, I thought I was having trouble with this. So with sharing your screen, you got to make sure that when you hit share screen, all in the bottom left-hand corner, there's going to be a tab that says share audio. You got to make sure that you have that checked to be able to have that feature become available. It's available when you share your entire screen, and it's available when you share an actual Chrome tab. Okay, so those are going to be the two options that give you the share system audio once you hit that, and that's going to give you the flexibility to be able to share that. And then
what you can do if you don't want to really show the screen, so with the pro scenes, you can make sure that this layer is in the bottom, and you have other layers like background and stuff like that covering the share screen, so the audio will go through, but it won't be shown. Definitely nice workaround.
Yeah. And then a question here from Tiano Time. It says, is there an easy way to just have audio calls to your stream? So there's two ways you can actually do this. The first way is if you have a mixer just like this, where you can just Bluetooth a call. Somebody can just call you on your phone. It can come into your mixer, and then you can feed it directly into Evmux into your stream, because you're selecting your audio device as your audio mixer. The other way is you can invite that person as a guest. They don't need to be on camera, and then you can have a picture of them, and then put the guest behind it, put their picture in a sense, and then their audio is going to be the only thing that comes through to be able to have that. So that's a good way to have people call in. You can always put that guest behind a banner, even if it's just you. Like right now, if it's just me and Alad, we can have people call in like, hey, here's a guest, join from your phone. Don't turn your camera on, you don't need to. And then we would add them as a layer inside of Pro Scenes and just put it behind everything where you can still hear them, but you wouldn't be able to see them. So it's almost like they're calling into the show, answering their question, and then you kick them out, or they leave the session. So any other ways you think you can bring in audios into the stream?
That's basically it for now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Just make sure, yes, that if you don't want them to be presented, remember we're talking about that in general. With the layers in ProScenes, you can control what is being on top of what.
Right.
So you don't want to show the person, no problem. It will be at the bottom, and there will be a picture, a background, a video, whatever, covering them. So they won't be shown. They will only be heard. Remember that it's very, very powerful feature.
Yeah, to be able to use that. And somebody asked the microphones and headset that both me and Alad are utilizing. It's made by Rode. So this is the Rode Pod Mic, and this is the NTH 100 headphones that they offer as well. So again, we're both utilizing the Rodecaster Pro 2 as the audio mixer, Rode Pod Mic as the microphone, and then the NTH 100 headphones that are all made by Rode. So that's what we're currently utilizing right now.
But just to add to that, it doesn't mean that you have to invest.
Right.
It's not that it's that expensive, by the way. It's not the very expensive mic, totally the opposite. But it doesn't mean that you cannot work with the built-in mic. You can. But of course, we try to sound good and to sound professional. So we invest a little bit on the equipment. I just don't want anyone to think that without this kind of mic and equipment, you cannot go live or something like that. Totally the opposite. Any webcam, any mic, go live, start creating content, and take it from there.
Yeah, perfect. And then for Notary Zone, I know you said if you just want to do audio only inside of Evmux, you 100% can. Again, here it is. Like I can disable my camera, and you guys are still going to be able to hear me, right? So you see, I just disabled my camera on the Townhall, and you're able to hear me. And again, because we're doing the recording, it's also going to save your video and your audio. But if you have no video, it's not going to do video. You have the audio at the highest quality, uncompressed, and then you're able to utilize on the podcast. So again, you can see here that I disabled my camera, but my audio is still playing through.
And the audio is on a different separated track, so you can get only the audio of your speaker, or yourself, no problem at all. So definitely the video is just an addition thing that you might not even use, and that's totally fine. But I think when you are recording someone, sometimes it's nice that at least you can see each other, okay? And then you take it for the post-production and you take the audio only, that's fine. If that's even not the case, yes, you can both be with cameras disabled, and now kind of like in Zoom that you have a call with someone, camera disabled, no problem at all. You can.
Right, yeah. And the picture that you saw of me when I disabled my camera, the reason why you see that is because I'm a speaker. So when you add a speaker to your Evmux to join you as a guest, you have the ability to add their logo and add their picture. So that way, if the cam ever goes out or they have to refresh their browser, it's not just a silhouette of a person. It's actually the picture of them. So you get that feature in through a speaker, to be able to add that in there. So, all right, perfect. So it's been super exciting today. We had a great turnout. A lot of people coming in here today, new faces, familiar faces. It was just great to see all the amazing questions. And if we missed your questions, our apologies for that. But join us inside of the Facebook group. Jump in there, ask the questions. Me and Alad always come in there for the next few minutes after the town hall to address any questions. But also the community is amazing. There's people now that are like, people ask questions, the community's jumping in. It's like, okay, hey, try this. Hey, I've experienced this. Let's do this. So again, it's becoming a family in there, and we're super excited for it. So again, before we leave, I had a question that says, how many times a week do you use Evmux? 43% say 3 times a week. We'd love to see that. 14% say daily. 24% said once a week, and 19% said once a month. So really excited to see people utilizing Evmux on all different occasions. Really excited to keep learning more about you guys. And if you have any questions, send them our way. And Lad, what do we always say?
Yeah, that we'll see you in the next one.
I'll see you guys soon.
See you guys. Bye. Thank you.
All right, I'm live. That was easy.